Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sewing Thursday. I am really excited this week, and I know I say that every week, but every week I find something cool and new and exciting to talk about. So I am, of course, T, and you might know me from my sewing blog, Sewing by T. Or maybe you know me from my fabric shop, Simply by T, or maybe you have no idea who I am and you just love sewing things. And if that's the case, you are in the right place. So today I've got a few really fun things to talk about. I've got a chalk and notch fringe dress, and I've got some really great things to say about that today. I have got my brand spanking new Cricut Easy Press, and I can't wait to tell you about that. And then we're going to talk about a really fun thing, and this is waterproof seam tape. So before I get started, thank you for joining me. Make sure you like this video and then share it with all of your sewing friends, because I know that they're going to want to see this stuff. And if you're wondering about my shirt, this is a Hey June Halifax in our black and pink rose double brush poly. It is my favorite of all of our double brush polys, and so of course it's the perfect shirt. It is comfy and cozy and warm, and it is still very, very much winter here. So welcome. Hello, Kaima. And I just want to make sure I'm saying that right. So if I'm not saying that right, can you please tell me? But I think that's the way you said it. So let's get started. I'm going to start with the chalk and notch fringe dress, and you're going to notice something very, very important. I'm not wearing it. And you're probably thinking, T, usually when you love something, you wear it. And so I'm going to be honest here for a second and say that this was not the best look for my body shape. It's very, very rectangle, and that makes it not a very good shape on my very, very square shoulders. But that doesn't make it a bad pattern, and I have ideas to fix it. So let me start at the beginning. I had this great idea at like 11 o'clock last night. It's like, I want a chambray dress. That's brilliant, right? At 11 o'clock at night. And I want to wear it tomorrow. So I spent all day today knocking out this dress, and the finishing is amazing. And my seams are all like perfect and gorgeous. And I tried it on and I didn't love it. So if you're thinking about buying the chalk and notch fringe dress, here's some things to think about. If you like shaping on your body, do not skip the ties in the back, because you need that to pull it tighter around your waist. Otherwise, it's going to look big and loose. And big and loose looks great on people with really, really small bodies. But between my large shoulders and my large bust, all it did was create this like giant sack that hung on my body. And then with my belly, it was just not good. But this pattern is amazing. So unlike a lot of what I call quick and dirty patterns, this is not a quick and dirty pattern. And yes, some woven patterns are quick and dirty. This is not one of them. The pattern, even though I cheated all over the place, has great finishing. There are facings for the neckline, which finish this beautifully. And you're actually supposed to go through and turn this and finish it so it's nice and pretty. I went fast, and I just serged everything instead. But that's just me, and you know me. I love faster the better. So, but the last thing, and the reason why I really wanted to do this, was I recently learned how to put buttons on with my sewing machine. So rather than having to take out a needle and thread, this button was all done on my sewing machine. And aside from the fact that I need to trim this little thread right here, it is perfection. So I am now a little bit obsessed with sewing buttons on with my sewing machine. So let me talk about some great things about this pattern. On the pattern pieces, she marks the bust point, which is really, really essential if you think you're going to have to make any adjustments. To pick my size, I went with my over bust, which is 36 plus 2, which gives me a 38-inch bust. And I believe I picked the pattern that went with the 38.5-inch bust. So I have choices here. I can say that even though my bust is 41 inches, it fit just fine inside of here. And there wasn't a whole lot of pulling or gaping. But the problem was that the shoulders seemed a little bit big, and so it made everything else look boxy. I could size down. I don't know if that's going to help, because then I have to do a really giant sized full bust adjustment. So I don't have a plan of what I'm going to do yet, aside from adding some ties on this one and hoping that that will be enough. But I really recommend this pattern if you like this style because of all the finishing on here. Welcome, Melissa. I'm glad you made it today. So like I said, this pattern is really, really well done. The bust points are marked. It's got really good darts. The arm seams are all finished. Like everything is clean and neat inside and out. I do recommend it if you like the style. I'm going to have to play with it some more. So my big idea at 11 o'clock last night to make one of these, probably better off just working on a muslin first before I assume that I'd be able to knock this out today. So don't be like me. Make your muslin and then be prepared to play with it. All right, up next, my new Cricut Easy Press. So in case you are hiding under a rock, or I keep calling it Cricut. It's pronounced Cricut, but in my head, I hear Cricut. I don't know why. So I'm sorry. I keep mispronouncing that. That's totally me. So the Easy Press. Why did I get an Easy Press? So I love doing heat transfer vinyl. See, so cute. But I hate putting it on with my iron because it takes me 4 or 5 minutes to get all the areas, and then I feel like I always end up with little bubbles, and it's not smooth and awesome. So I put this on here. This took 20 seconds with the Easy Press, and it's on, and it's 100 times better than my iron was ever going to get me. Why did I get an Easy Press instead of a full-sized heat press? So heat presses are awesome. Heat presses are also big and heavy, and my sewing space is jam-packed full, like just full to the max. There is no more space. And I looked at my space over and over and over again, and I thought, okay, well, maybe I could get rid of it. And I'm like, nope, there's nothing. As it is, I would prefer to have a larger cutting table. So I knew that I had to think small, and the Easy Press definitely does small. I mean, look at this. I'm like picking it up and showing it to you. You get this heat press and this little square that it rests on so it doesn't burn things. So the second best thing about this is it's kind of stupid proof, which is really important because I'm hoping to teach my kids to use this so that they can just make their own t-shirts and I don't have to hear about, Mom, I want a. So it comes with this super awesome quick reference chart, and I just went on to the Sizer Easy Weed because that's the brand of vinyl that I use, just to double check, and they say 305 degrees. I think they say 15 seconds, but on here it says 20, so I went with 20 seconds for this. So I'm actually going to do a design for you. And yeah, Kevin posted this down here. This is 100% my opinion. Cricut did not give this to me. We spent our money, and I debated for a long time about whether to get one of these. So this is 100% my honest feedback. I know you guys know I'm honest even if somebody gave me something for free, but complete full disclosure, I did not get this for free. I paid for this. So I wanted to do a demonstration because they make this so easy. So here on the front panel, we have these buttons, and I'm going to turn it on. We have to set the temperature. Hold on. Here we go. So we're going to set the temperature for 305 degrees. And the time will be 20 seconds. All right, and I'm just going to let that heat up. And when it does, this little button right here will turn green. So while that's heating up, I'm going to show you the design my daughter picked out. Put paper back here so you can see it. So I weeded this today. And my daughter picked this out. And I probably should have asked her to pick something with a little less detail. So it was probably going to take me way longer to weed this than to apply this, which is really exciting. And I've got her simple t-shirt here that she said, Mom, put it on here. So I've got the t-shirt. Now, when you're using this, you cannot use your ironing board because your ironing board is squishy. And in order for it to get a good contact, you want the surface that you're using to be really firm. So I bought this bamboo cutting board at Walmart. It's not fancy, but it works. So this is my hard surface, and right now I'm doing this on my kitchen table because that's where I do my live videos. But when I do take this into my sewing space, I'll be putting the cutting board on top of my ironing board. Now, if you're going to use a wooden cutting board, you're going to need to protect whatever you're heating with a piece of wax paper. This is actually the back to a label, but it's waxy, and it'll make sure that when I'm heating the wooden board, oh, and that little sound tells us that it's hot. So when I'm heating the board, if there's any sap left in the wood, it can actually end up back on my fabric. So we don't want that. So a little wax paper will protect my board. I've got the t-shirt. Now, usually when you're doing a vinyl design, you want to make sure that the surface or the item that you're ironing is smooth. So you can actually take the Easy Press and smooth out your garment. So that's one more step. Lori is saying that she's heard ceramic tiles work well. And I have actually heard that too. For me, it was faster and easier to find the wooden cutting board. So I'm just taking my design that's been all weeded and lining it up here. I'm not sure how well this is going to show on this black t-shirt, but it's all good. So apply the Easy Press, hit the green button, and it's going to count down 20 seconds. So like I said, previously I was doing this with my iron, and on an iron, the sole plate, actually the heating element runs back and forth, so you actually get cold spots. So it is a big square iron, and that's it. The 20 seconds is up. So I'll go ahead and move this out of the way. So it's a big square iron, and I can peel this off. And unlike when I normally do this with my iron, see, it peeled right off, no sticking, which is usually what I end up with. And the t-shirt is done. Like seriously, 20 seconds. So it took me longer to weed it than it took to apply it. And it is now on there for good. So I just have to let this cool off and it's done. Like seriously. So I bought a big fancy square iron, but this way my kids can have all the cool t-shirts they want and they don't have to spend a long time making it work. So like I said, I spent a lot of time thinking about, do I want a full-size heat press or do I want the Easy Press because it's so much smaller? And for me, it was strictly space. What are the dimensions on the press? Give me half a second. Let me grab a ruler. All right, sorry about that. So this is the first ruler I found. So the little box thing that it sits on is like 10.5 by 10.5. So the only space you would need is 10.5 by 10.5, and it sits about 6 inches tall. So you could easily tuck this onto a shelf And then when you need it, take it out, use it, and put it away. Natasha's saying that you can use it to apply interfacing, and absolutely. This is going to be nice and easy. Anything that's small that you need to do a lot of things, this is perfection. I watched a lot of review videos about this, and there was a guy who owns a heat press who tested the Easy Press. Oh, what is it that you want to see, Kevin? The Easy Press? So it's just right here, and I'm actually going to turn it off because we don't need it to run anymore. And then the t-shirt is, like I said, all done, and it peeled off so easy. So when I was using my iron, I always ended up with sticky spots that didn't peel, and then I had to go back, and it was a pain for me. And I know lots of people use their irons, and they're totally okay with that. But maybe I'm just not patient. This, though, was super fast. So that is what I've been so excited about. I purchased it actually, I think it was last week, and I've been waiting ever so impatiently. And I know that Kevin actually told me this morning, he was like, I think your Easy Press is going to be here today. And I was like, all right, well, I know what we're talking about today because I need to try it out. So super, super excited about that. I can't say enough good things. It's clearly doing exactly what I need it to do. I don't think I would use this to do like 100 t-shirts. So if you're trying to run a business, this is probably not your tool. But if you're just trying to do some designs for your family, I think it's perfect. Even Melissa is saying that it's a big pain with her iron. And that's why I haven't done enough vinyl. Like I have the vinyl, I have my silhouette cameo, and getting it to cut the design is easy, but applying it was a pain. And now it is not a pain. So expect lots more things from me that have designs on them because I absolutely love it. Right, so the last thing that we are talking about today is waterproof hem tape. So why do you need waterproof hem tape? And I thought this was really important because I know I've heard people start talking about raincoats. And the thing about raincoats is the more holes you put in a raincoat, the more likely you're going to get leaks in your raincoat. Nobody likes a leaky raincoat. So I hate to admit this, and I know my mom is watching, so I'm sorry, Mom. My dad gave me these Norfolk Southern, he worked for the railroad, these Norfolk Southern jackets, they're raincoats, like 2 years ago. And a year ago, I finally bought the waterproof hem tape to fix what he wanted me to fix. But I want to show you the inside of this sleeve that I cut off. And you'll notice that every single seam is covered in waterproof hem tape. And that is because there is lots of top stitching on this sleeve. And if you didn't use waterproof hem tape, you would have a leaky jacket. Oh my God, Mom, you don't have to tell people. I'm so embarrassed. But yes, so I have all the things that I need to fix this jacket. I have a pattern to make the sleeve smaller and to make the body smaller. And I have this hem tape. So if you've been thinking about making a rain jacket of some type and you're using oilcloth, you can iron those seams and it will melt that plastic just a little bit to tighten up those needle holes. But it's not a guarantee that you're not going to end up with a jacket that isn't actually waterproof. So this tape is really, really easy to use. Let me peel this little section right here. Every seam that you do, you peel this off, you put it over the seam, you iron it, and it fuses those seams together. It is that easy. So if you've been putting off doing a rain jacket because either one, you want it to be really truly waterproof, or two, you wanted to do some really intricate design or perhaps you wanted to do some kind of applique design on the front and you worried that it was going to leak, this is your solution. Now, I found this on eBay, and I did check lots and lots of places, as I always do. But almost always, eBay is the answer to everything. So, waterproof hem tape, you iron it onto every single seam you do. It will make sure that the jacket is 100% watertight. Now, of course, if you have to sew over another section, you're going to need more hem tape. But I'm pretty sure this roll will last me the rest of my life. So, that is everything I have got for everyone today. I would love to take any questions or comments or any questions you may have about what's going on in the shop. I do know that we are waiting on the navy faux leather, which I made a mistake on the order, and I ordered olive instead of the navy. So the navy is on its way. Melissa's asking, how do you make the zipper area waterproof? So in this case, this jacket has this nice hidden panel, which is great. This zipper itself is not waterproof, and I can tell that because I can look right through it. But I learned the other day that you can actually buy a waterproof zipper, which makes sense because in order to make a wetsuit, you would need a waterproof zipper. Otherwise, your wetsuit would end up being wet inside, and nobody likes a wet wetsuit. So you can buy a waterproof zipper if you really, really need it to be waterproof. But in most cases, just having this flap go over the side is enough to keep the water out. Natasha is saying that Wawak has waterproof zippers, and I don't doubt it. They have like all the zippers, right? I'm ordering zippers from them all the time. I'm going to say Daisy is my mom, so it's hard for me to refer to her as Daisy, but Daisy says, could it be used on our leather? And you know what? My only concern about using this on the leather is I don't remember what temperature you're supposed to use on your iron. So as with all things, check to make sure that your leather can handle the iron before you go, assuming that it's the best option for a waterproof jacket. Honestly, if you're wanting a waterproof jacket, your best option is really a nylon or a nylon poly blend. I have made jackets out of PUL, which is polyester urethane laminate. And I actually have some right here. It's normally used for making diapers, but it has a polyester side and then the plasticky side. When I did that, of course, I had some water that would actually kind of soak in onto the fabric side as opposed to the urethane side. Although I wonder if I had used the waterproof tape, if I could have eliminated that and it would have only beaded on the top and then just had to be dried. But it was more of a quick jacket and not a we're going to play in the water jacket, which I think most kids would prefer a jacket that really can stand up to that kind of time in the water. All right, so unless anybody else has questions about anything, I think we are done. And like I said, I am super excited about my Cricut Easy Press, and I can't wait to vinyl all the things. And hopefully I'm going to finish my dad's jacket so that I can get it out of my to-do pile because it's been there for 2 years. So I want to thank you for joining me. Make sure that you share my video with all of your friends and that you like this video so that it gives other people a chance to see it. Because of course we want everyone to see our video. And otherwise, keep an eye out for the newsletter. I actually don't know what's going to be in there tomorrow, so I guess we'll both be surprised. Thanks for joining me.